Hi folks, welcome. I wanted to talk about the newest release of GZX, the ZX Spectrum emulator. So I've made a new release 2020.1. GZX, it's a Spectrum emulator that I wrote for myself as a personal emulator more than 20 years ago. Boy, that's scary. And in 2017 I released it as free software, and I released the source, and in last year 2019 I made the first binary release to make this available to more people. After that I spent 5 more months of intense work on this. Since then I didn't have time to work on this because I have other projects that I work on, and this is really not my top priority, but I really wanted to get this release out because there are so many exciting features that it would be really shame not to make this available in a release. So there might be some rough edges, but you know, it's what it is. So let's dive straight in. So the emulator is available from GitHub, so you can get the source and compile it yourself. You can get a binary release. So there's the 2020.1, and you can get the zip file. So let's save it, and let's unzip that. So the first thing you will notice, if you saw the previous release, there was a binary called GZX-G, and a lot of people were confused what that was. That was a version of the emulator which had compiled in and enabled Spec 256 emulation, and it's no longer there because I folded that emulation into the main binary, and it's only enabled when you need it. So on the other hand, there's new binary which is called gtab, and it's a command line utility to list tapes, to list contents of tape files. So let's start. And so I'll hit F5 to go to the tape menu, and you will notice that there are some new entries. So there's a new save and save as. So the biggest project that I worked on was I completely rewrote the tape emulation from scratch. So in the old version, you could open and play tapes in TAP, TZX or WAV format, but you couldn't really modify them or save. The only thing you could do, I think, was say if you did save in BASIC, it would save, it would append to one particular file in TAP format, and that was it. So now we have editable tape in memory. There is not a built-in browser for the tape yet, but you can use the command line utility to list tapes. So you can do a new tape, and then we can write a simple program in BASIC, save it. So now it will quick save to the in-memory tape, and we can do a save as and do a hello.tap, for example. And now if I do a F9 to select tape file, we have a hello.tap, and we can load it, and it's there. We can also convert tap file to TZX. So we already opened the tap file, and now we can do a save as hello.tzx. And again, if I open the tape file and load it, it's there. Or I might want to disable QuickTape, and you will notice that it now actually shows the state of QuickTape. So disable QuickTape, and if I do a save hello, so now it actually wants me to start the tape, and when I press enter it will start bleeping. So what we can do, and this is a new feature, if I press Alt W, I can start recording audio. So previously you had to you could only record audio by passing a command line argument. So now it's actually, you can start it using a key combination, and we can record a hello.wav and press enter. Yeah, now I will press Alt E, and that stops the capture, because we can open that WAV file in Audacity, and you will notice there is a little problem, because this is actually an audio recording, so it records not only the tape but also the speaker and also the music chip. So this is not centered and maximized. We can normalize it and do export as wave and save. Yes. Now if I do open the file, do load and play the tape, so it actually loads. Another thing that I can do is save as TZX, and what this does, it creates a TZX file with a direct recording block. So that's like a single bit per sample representation of the wave. And now if we actually we can load it. And now if you look at the sizes of the file, then obviously this is the WAV file. So there's 700 kilobytes, and the TZX file, that's 44 kilobytes. And if you compress the TZX file, so it's really small. On the other hand, if you zip the WAV file, that will be significantly larger. Okay, so I hope to add some built-in browser to the emulator later, but that's not there yet. So if you go to the main menu, you will notice there's some new submenus like display and hardware. So if you look at hardware, we can disable the AI chip, and there's a new Kempston joystick emulation. So with the arrow keys and insert key, you can control Kempston joystick, and you can disable it. And there's some other new features. So we have a ULAplus emulation. So that's the DAC or registers or color map for the spectrum. So if we load, we can load a palette, for example, for highway encounter. Load, enable QuickTape. Okay, now break the program and open the tape for highway encounter. Load, and there you have it. So we can run a demo, for example. So you can see it's using custom colors. Of course, this is not a game that would directly support ULAplus. It's just using a preloaded palette. And if I go to the hardware menu which is also accessible directly via F6. You can disable ULAplus, and now it reverted to the standard palette. Okay. Also, as I already mentioned, now you can use the Spec256 emulation directly from the main binary. Actually, in the past it didn't work very well, so now it works actually. So we can hit an F3 to load snapshot, and let's load a Spec256 snapshot, example Cybernoid. So you can see there's a lot of colors, and if I disable Spec256, it falls back to the normal colors. Okay, I fixed quite a few incompatibility issues. Now the cube from TGM works. This is a graphical demo. It's probably my favorite Spectrum graphical demo. So you will notice there's a display problem here, because this demo uses it displays something different for each field of the PAL frame, so it uses the high vertical resolution effect, and this would normally not display correctly in the past. And you could always pass a command line argument to GZX to enable displaying this effect, but now you can do it in the display menu. So you enable double line, and now it displays correctly. Of course, you don't want to keep this enabled at all times, because then you can get artifacts when the screen changes, right? So there's another new feature. So there's the display menu, and you can enable full screen here, and you can also select how much of the screen you want to see. And why would you want to do this? Well, with the real Spectrum and a CRT TV, how much of the screen you saw really depended on how you set up your TV. So, or some of the TVs or the monitors, you could change the size of the picture, and you never really saw the full PAL frame. So 320 by 200, that's what you would see on a standard old plain VGA, and that's what I like to use. But if you want to see more of the border effects, then you can change it. So for example, if we load Darkstar, so there is some bug in Darkstar, I believe, which makes it crash sometimes on a real Spectrum, but every time in GZX for unknown reasons. But that only if you skip the part where the bug occurs, you can actually play the game. And so if I load a snapshot, so now we're in the Hall of Fame, and if I change the display area, then you can actually see the border effect on top. I think it's a little bit shifted to the right than it should be, but in the past it didn't work correctly at all, so now it's almost correct. Also, MIDI output on Windows should now be working correctly, so you can run GZX in Linux, on Windows, pretty much any version of Windows, starting with 95 until the newest versions, and you can also run it in Helenos if you want. So that was a little preview of the new release GZX 2020. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you're interested, please try out this new version, and if you find bugs, then report them to me. If you like it, it would be great if you can tell me as well. So that's it for the moment. Thank you, and see you next time.